Today is my first attempt at starting my podcast. There's going to be different subjects, different topics. I might have guest hosts depending on things. I'll probably bring people up in boxes depending on the people because I don't want to just bring anybody in a box that only has 2 followers and that's brand new to TT because, huh? I was trying to set my little goal. And so if you're scrolling FYP, come on in, have a seat, have a chat, and let's talk. So, a little background about me. Um, Before I met my current wife, um, Hurricane Katrina hit, and we lost everything. We didn't get flood water, but we lost everything because there was a hole in our roof. So after we lost everything, um, I went back to work when my job opened back up, and I just basically went to work for 8 9 hours a day, and then went back home, and I did not do anything else. And so, welcome in, D. Welcome in. So eventually, I started putting on weight slowly, um, and then as that happening, I was still doing my daily things. Let me turn the light on. Whoa, whoa. Y'all bear with me. How's that? So I would just lay around and be lazy, you know, and I wouldn't do anything. So I started putting on weight, putting on weight, putting on weight, and eventually I wound up being 510 pounds. So as that was going on, I noticed that I wasn't happy. I was miserable. Life was just miserable because I wasn't never that big. So it's just it was dawned on me that something had to happen. So along came my current wife, and we she was a big person at the time as well. And for 2 years, I worked on trying to diet and exercise the correct way. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't in the loop of like who to talk to. I couldn't afford to pay somebody to help me lose weight properly. So I went the direction of weight loss surgery. And people say it's the easy way out. No, 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 no. Any type of way that you can figure it out, there's no easy way because if it was easy, everybody would do it. So I had the weight loss surgery about eight, almost 8 years ago, and it was horrible at first because I was always the type of guy or type of person. I ain't gonna say guy because I don't want to stereotype that. I was the type of person that think that I could not change my habits. I used to say, "Oh, I can't quit drinking such and such soda," or I couldn't quit eating donuts, or I couldn't quit eating the stuff that was not good for me at the time, as I've learned. But again, there's no such thing as nothing that is too bad for you. It's portion control, but that's a whole nother story. And as I continue to, it, two, 2 or 3 weeks before, no, it's 2 weeks before the weight loss surgery, you have to have a liquid-free sugar-free liquid diet. Excuse me. And then depends on the person. It could be 4 up to 6 weeks. Now, my wife can look up and correct me if I'm wrong, but honestly, it just depends on the person. It could be a minimum of 4. a maximum of 6 weeks. Some people even went longer with the liquid diet after the surgery. It's depends on the person in general. So I started to change my mindset because 6 months before the surgery, you got to go to a nutritionist once a month, and they help you learn to eat differently. And when I say by differently, they don't necessarily try to get you to eat certain foods. They try to teach you to eat portion control, which I learned now is the key to any kind of lifestyle. Because when we was growing up, they put like they put like a pound of food on your plate, and they would be like, "Oh, you can't get up to eat it." And I didn't think about it at the time, but now that I think about it, that's just not something you should do to a kid. You let them eat to their full, and then let them go play, because you don't want them to overeat. Because as I've learned, our stomachs are like balloons. The more you put in it and expands, the less elasticity it gets. So it gets used to all that food, and it just slowly puts on weight. Because you don't put it on overnight, you're not gonna lose it overnight. And so I've learned, and my wife had it too, and we are we enjoy fitness. And I'm not gonna say, you know, you have to lift weights to lose weight. Excuse me. So apart for that, another thing about me, recently diagnosed with CLL leukemia. I'm going to probably butcher how it's pronounced, but it's called chronic lymphocenic leukemia. It's not a death sentence, but it's still scary. And I will talk on those subjects down the road. And people that know me or don't know me, well, the people that don't know me, y'all come on in and get to know me. Because I have a lot that I could talk about. And two things I won't talk about is religion and politics. That is off the table. That's a hard no for me. So anything else we can talk about: race cars, wrestling, football, movies, TV shows, electronics, cell phones. I really love true crime. I really love mystery. I really love documentaries. Um, I can also talk about that. So on to that note, there's a story that I brought up. I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was interesting. There was a couple in Miami. They were two inmates. I got to read the story right here. Let me move my electronics out the way. There was two inmates. They the woman got pregnant from the guy, and when I saw it, it kind of made me think like, okay, how did this happen? So as I went into the story and started reading it, I had to pull it up. In December of 2023, uh, two Miami-Dade inmates they achieved the impossible deed of conceiving a child without ever, meeting each other. And I thought that the headline was interesting because I am an oddball, and I like things that will make you stop and be like, "Whoa, what happened?" So again, she had the baby in June, and they explained that her and him, uh, they were both charged with second degree murder, but at being accused of killing her boyfriend. So when they were in jail in the detention center, uh, they found a way to put his semen in saran wrap and passed it through vents and with a yeast infection applicator. And that's interesting to me because it goes to show that if somebody truly wants something, they will find a way to achieve it. To me, that's just, like I said, I don't yuck somebody's yum, but to see somebody have a baby through a means like that, it's very interesting because you know how is it able to stay? I don't know. I'm not an expert on pregnancy and stuff, but how was it able to stay without dying? Because I always thought that once the semen hits the air or something, it. But like I said, I'm no expert, so don't quote me on that. So it to me, it's just wild that people will find a way to get what they want, and I'm not saying it's illegal because they had a baby. How they did it, maybe the jail has more. Maybe they have to look how things go, but excuse me, pardon me, to to maybe stop that from happening. But where there's a will, there's a way. Am I right? So my next thing is I love true crime. Um, truly love true crime stories and Dateline and 48 Hours and a lot of ID channel. Um, Before I met my current wife, I wanted to be a criminal profiler, but life threw me a curveball and I couldn't do it. It's to me, I'm more interested in when what the person what drew them to become a serial uh, I don't know, I don't want to use the word with a K, an unaliver, I guess. How I want to know what drew them to become that type of person to do that to people. It's not how many people they did that to. It's not how they did it. It's the mindset of what brought them to that is what interests me because you got people like Charles Manson, the Zodiac killer. You got people like Jack
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper, um, people like that, and it's like there's so many things that's possible of whether it's childhood trauma. They always say, oh, they were born bad or they were raised bad. There's so many discussions out there that is just so mind blowing. I'm also a fan of aliens and UFOs and um, some conspiracy theories, not the far out conspiracy theories, but the ones that actually make sense. Um, I'm a fan of the Bilderberg Group's conspiracy. I'm also a fan of the Illuminati. Now, I'm not hardcore like a lot of them, but I love the stories. I love to read them. Now, whether they're true or not, I don't know. I don't go around saying that that is the gospel and this is the truth about this story. And no, I base my information just on how I feel. I don't tell you this is facts because that's just not what I do. I'm attempting to do a podcast like 3 days a week. I don't know how successful it's going to be. I'm going to figure it out because somebody has to start. You have to start somewhere, and where else to start than with my friends on here and my viewers on here. Maybe I can have people email me at a link uh, topics they would like me to discuss, and it doesn't have to. I don't have to say their name. I will never say who sent me anything. It's just if they want me to discuss a topic, I will leave my email. Um, I will leave it somewhere. Maybe I'll have Kay put the email on the background so y'all can see it, and y'all could just send me anything, any topics, and it's all anonymous. I will never ever say who sent me the subject. That is just totally anonymous because I don't want to out people if they want me to talk. Now, if they want to come in here while I'm discussing that topic and they want to say that they sent me that question or that topic that they want me to talk about, that's on them. but I will go through the topics and pick one or two, and just do a little research on it because I'm gonna do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Uh, as long as life doesn't get in the way, because we all know life will throw you a curveball when you have plans to do something, but then you have to make adjustments to that because never is going to go as you planned. We know this. Well, some people think that life goes as planned, but it actually doesn't. And that background is not gonna. It's gonna be a different background. I still have to come up with a name for my podcast. What I want to call it. My wife is my, I don't know, producer.
Working on it.
She's my producer. She helps me, come up with different themes, and she's gonna help me come up with different questions. If she comes across something that she thinks that, if she comes across a news article that she thinks I would want to talk about, she will tell me, or she'll send me a link to it. And anybody that sees this recording, because I'm recording this through TikTok Studio, and I don't know where it records to. So let's see what other headlines I can come up with, or see what's in the news today. Let's see. Let's see what news stories we can find to talk about. That would be. Let's see what they have. Let's see on the news feed. I know what I want to talk about. Something that I thought about companies like, um, thank you, companies like that make food or fast food or Lay's potato chips or Coke or something like that. I saw the McRib came back, and I thought they said it was never ever coming back. Taco Bell does it. Lay's potato chips does it. All of these food and beverage companies does it, and that is a way for them to just keep you intrigued and keep you wanting, like, to spend more money. I get it, I do, but it's your choice how much you want to invest in that. Like, I understand that I like the McRib, but I'm not gonna go buy it every day because it's back. No, I'm not gonna waste my money every day. Once a week or once or twice a month, that's fine. The other side of the mind. Let's see.
As the name for the podcast.
Oh, that sounds right. That sounds good.
I got a couple.
The other side of the mind.
Because men's mental health as well as odd news.
Right. Um. Again. So back to what I was talking about. So it I see what their marketing strategy is, but again, it's your choice of how much you want to invest in that product. Taco Bell brought back after a long time their Mexican pizza, and my wife and our son, they love the Mexican pizza, but are they out there buying it every day and spending their money on it every day, whether we had the money or not? No, they're not. It's ultimately comes down to your choice to decide how much you want to. I know it can be very addicting. It really can be addicting. Um, I have an addictive personality, so I have to be careful. I like certain things, and I don't want to. I know certain things my body doesn't like. My body don't. Excuse me. My body doesn't handle a lot of sugar at one time. Now, if I had sugar 35 grams or less, and then 4 hours later I have some more, I know the sugar's done processed through my body, so I'm good. Again, It's all about you have to find how your body reacts to things, not what other people say. Um, so on that note, let's see if I can find something to talk about. Let me look through my news feed. Do 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 do. Also, I also like to put up inspiring quotes, mental health or fitness or things like that. So another thing I'll be talking about is odd and weird news as well. Fitness motivation things, because I really do get some irritated with these fitness influencers that says go hard or go home. Um, you shouldn't do this. You got to do this. You shouldn't do that. They really irritate me because I'd rather take fitness advice from somebody who was small, got big, got small, and got big again, and they know how to do it. I wouldn't want to take it. Well, some people that are fit have been doing it for years and they've never been big. They've been doing it since they were younger, and just the ones that say go hard all the time, no, no, they make me sick. So odd news as well. I love odd and strange and weird news stories and articles, and I'd have to take all of those names, Persephone, and put them to a poll or whatever you say, whatever how you would say it. Put it to a poll and let people decide which one fits. Mind over mystery. Yes, that sounds good. Because I always tell people I am an enigma wrapped inside of a mystery, or is it vice versa? I'm not sure exactly how it goes. I will do a lot of looking over here because I have a second monitor, so I can look up news and check myself because I always like to make sure that I am telling you, like I said, not facts, but the news story that I am talking about is correct. Like, I just typed in odd news and one came up about a buck he was netting at a Colorado high school batting cages. So when I come across an article, I want to make sure that it's something that I actually know what I'm saying because I don't want to give y'all anything that's not what I read. And I'm also going to talk about relationships, uh, marriage, relationships between parents, things that I've experienced, not something that other people have experienced because I can only tell my stuff that what I've went through, things that I've seen, that I've heard from my friends, or some things that my friends have told me that they went through. And like I said, there's not going to be no names. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to do. I just want to have a nice chat to talk to people. And yes, it does feel weird talking to nobody, but it takes time. It takes time to build your audience. It takes time to get your audience in. And I know that. I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, my first podcast didn't go well. I'm just going to quit. No, that is not what I'm going to do. My plan is to slowly get to where I want to be. Mental health is my biggest um, thing I want to do. And be an advocate for mental health and talk about because they got so many people that's on here that I follow that once a week or twice a week they have a live where they talk about mental health and chronic illness and I want to lean more towards that and leukemia because I was diagnosed and it really is scary and I could have sat around and let it let myself like just be depressed and eat food and just sit around all day and just eat, sleep, and not do nothing. But I have this thing in my brain that, like the scale of justice in my head, it's like if you lay around and eat, you're gonna put on 20 to 25 pounds, and then you're gonna not like yourself for doing it, and then you're gonna make yourself sick just from that. So I figured I might as well just get up and do what I need to do and still
Hello.
be able to
Good
do what I
morning.
need to do and make sure that
Yeah, he
everything's
got the walls
okay
up and everything. We're just waiting on
with
them to pipe
myself.
to come put
So
the fixtures
if there's anybody out there listening or scrolling through the FYP
in. Alright, yeah, everything
and
is
come across
perfect
this,
except for that.
come on in, have a seat, pull up a chair,
Alright, thank you.
sip on your coffee, sip on your tea. Let's have a chat because that's what I want to do. I want to have conversations. Conversations are good. Conversations are great. I'm not going to get overheated. I'm not going to get passionate. I'm not. I am passionate, but I'm not going to let that passion, like, I'm not going to let that passion boil over into anger or not on my live podcast because I want people to know we can talk about things without getting loud. And it's going to be hard for me because people that know me know when I get passionate about something and I latch onto it, I can get very, very loud. But I don't want to do that. I want to be I want to be the calm. I want to be my podcast, my live podcast. I want to be, excuse me, y'all. Been up since 3:15. I'll get into that another time. I just want to be the chill vibes, no drama. I don't want people to come in here and they're gonna try to stir up and get me heated. It happens. We know they have people out there that will come in here and try to stir the pot, as they say. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna do my best, very best, to not let it bother me, and let me and have me like at the top of my voice, because there's no need for that. You can be passionate about things. Now, some things you got to be loud about, but not everything. Not everything. I want to I want to help people. I want to try to help people know that there is people out there, whether it's for mental health, whether it's questions about things that they don't know about. Because I love doing research. I really love researching topics. I really love researching anything that can do with what I'm talking about. And everything I talk about is, I'm not gonna say it's facts. I will never say it's facts. I don't care what articles I come across. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, that's facts." No. To me, anything can be obscured on the internet. So if I come to you and say that it's a fact, then you come back to me and say I'm lying. So there's no point in me saying that. I like a lot of things. I like movies, I like TV, I like music, true crime. So I'm gonna try to base this one. I'm gonna try to come up with like two or three different topics or different things every day. Some of it might be random because I have ADHD and I could be in the middle of a topic and then switch to another topic at the snap of a finger. My wife tells me that all the time when we're talking. She's like, you just changed subjects, and I'm like, I don't pay attention. Um, it's my ADHD brain. God, this is tough to talk about for an hour with nobody in here, without nobody listening. it's weird trying to talk to myself while I am trying to hold a conversation with myself without any engagement. But like I said in my previous few minutes ago, you have to start somewhere. You're not going to just take off with the podcast overnight. It's not going to have you an overnight sensation from one podcast unless you want to be controversial and you want to jump on the bandwagon of all of these controversial topics and you want to get your 15 minutes of fame. That's different. That's cool. You know, you want to get your 15 minutes of fame because you want to jump on these topics and you want to jump on these topics and be like, help you get your name out there. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't want to be like that. I want to slowly build my audience. I want to slowly build my fan base because I generally want to help people. I want to let people know that you have a safe space, that you can come into my podcast and you can park your TikTok profile in here and just walk away and listen, and nobody's gonna care because I know people like to listen while they're cleaning their house. Our best friend Nessa, she will when I'm doing regular lives, she'll she won't talk for 10 minutes. If she comes back and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I walked away. I was still listening, but she was doing stuff around the house." That's okay. You don't have to tell me that you're walking away. You don't have to tell me I'll be right back. You got your earphones in, or you got your speakers on. You're still listening. That's cool. If you mute it, I'm not gonna care because I'm recording it. So um, I just I just generally want to help people. I mean, that's my whole thing. I want to help people, and I want to let them know that you have safe spaces to talk. Um, whether it's whether you're male, female, LGBTQ plus. I generally know that we have to do better. We have to be better for people. We can't bring people down. Well, they got some people out there that don't give a damn about how other people's feels. And I've been there. I used to not care about how I if I upset somebody or if somebody was mad at me for something. I used to just brush it off, but now it's like if I do something unintentionally to upset a friend, I would love for them to tell me that I upset them. I would love for them to come to me and say, "Hey, you said something that upset me. I didn't appreciate it." Because we as humans, we sometimes say or do things that we don't realize that upset our friends. And I am very well known to do that without realizing it. And I don't mean to. I don't like upsetting people at all. Even back in the day, if if unless you upset me, I might have upsetted you back. I don't know. But I'm not the same person I was 15, 20 years ago. I have changed a lot. I have more concern because I also suffered from I also suffer from mental health. Pinned a comment. I can't even see it.
You can't?
No, not on this chat.
Okay, that's fine. I wanted to check that. That's what I was working
It
on.
just says pinned a comment. What did you pin?
It was just a comment that Persephone did.
Oh.
That's all. You keep going. I'm testing out being a moderator right now.
Oh, again, for the people that's listening, I know this is new. This is something new to me. So it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm finally dipping my toes into the water. I'm not gonna go full. Originally I was gonna do it 7 days a week, but no, I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I don't need to do it 7 days a week. I have other things I want to do. I'm also a gamer. I like playing games. I've been out of loop for 15 years. I haven't really played, but now that I have leukemia, I spend a lot more time at home. Uh, I started even because my anxiety keeps me at home as well. I try not to go nowhere if I don't have to. I really don't. It's just out there. It's just too much for me sometimes to handle. I may not show it, but I got to I got to sometimes put my anxiety on the side because I got to take my mom to the doctors, and I do what I got to do for her and for my family. I'll put my anxiety to the side and I will deal with it just to bring my mom to her doctors because she's not going to get up, and I'm not going to let somebody bring her to the doctor because she takes forever to get ready anyway, and that's just nah. I'd rather just bring her and get it over with. Yeah, my mom can be a bit like slow to get ready at times, but she's also 83 years old and she wants to take her time, and that's cool. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I've introduced myself, talked about things that I want to talk about. Um, Again, I might have, if I could bring people up in the boxes from time to time when I'm talking about something. Uh, Maybe once I get the ball rolling, I'll pick different subjects and we can bring people up that want to talk about something because it's like your story matters. You know, your story can help or encourage somebody else to tell their story in the end because I have I have not been through a lot of traumatic stuff in my life, but I've been through some. I've been through the childhood trauma of being told I wasn't going to amount to nothing. I don't regret anything because what I've done has led me to the person I am today. I think I am a way different person than I was 15 years ago. 15, 20 years ago, I probably would have been, I wouldn't have cared about anything. But now I have a family. I've gained a bonus son, and if anybody, most people know what that is, but if for the people that don't know, it's basically a stepson, but I don't call him a stepson. I have no kids of my own, and he might as well. He's the closest thing I'll ever have to a son of my own. He has his real father, and they still talk, and they communicate. So he's got two fathers in his life. He's got his dad's married, and I'm with his mom. So he's got an extra uh, set of parents. So, oh, what's up, Rumples? And in the end, it's like I just want to generally just help people and want to encourage people to show. Good morning, Bubba. I just want to encourage people to try not to, if you can, try not to bring down people. Oh no, you're good. It's recorded. This is stuff you probably already know about me. I'm just introducing myself, Reese. Like I'm just introducing myself to the viewers and things that I plan on doing and things like that. This is just I'm mulling names over, like Mind Over Mystery or um, what other one she pinned in there? Uh, the Other Side of the Mind. I'm still trying to come up with names too. So, but again, people like Rumples, he's a pretty good dude. He's young, but he's not, you know, he's very sensitive, but he's became a good friend of ours, and I really enjoy hanging out with him. Even though he's on the other side of the world, through social media, whether we on video or not, we can still keep up and say hi to each other and check in on each other. Whether we know whether if I gave up TT or whatever happens or anything in the world, there's other ways to communicate. So I can still keep in touch with him even without TT. So I believe the connections we make don't don't matter how long they're in our life. Um, we they come in and out of our lives for a reason, and the similarities sometimes are just amazing because you make these bonds. And I have a best friend. He's been my best friend since I was 14 years old. He lives about 2 hours from me, and but we don't communicate every day. But he's still my best friend. And when we do run into each other, and when we do meet up, it's like we never lost. Like any years, it's like we just pick up from where we left off, and that's a great thing to have. When you have a best friend that no matter how long it's been since you talked to him, y'all still have that bond. And I always will have that bond with my best friend. Maybe one day I can get him down here and we can do a podcast together. Who knows? Uh, exactly. You don't have to communicate every day to have a best friend. You don't. Look, my brother, my half brother, he's 7 years older than me. He lives maybe an hour and 45 minutes from me. I don't communicate with him every day, but he still calls my mom, and that's all that matters to me. He still talks to our mom, and I know he's fine. I know he's safe. He's not, if something was to happen to him, my mom would know, and hopefully I would know too, because I would at least, like to know he's all right. So I don't have to talk to him every day to know, you know, as long as he talks to our mom, a few times a week, that's all that matters to me. And they got other people that have, they communicate with their siblings every day. They've always been like that since they was a kid, and there's nothing wrong with that. Every Everybody has different ways of communicating with their family and and friends and things like that. Um, that goes my ADHD again. Sorry. I'm gonna try to not do that while I'm doing my 1 hour. Um, so again, she if she when she makes a background, and I'm gonna put the email and incorporate it somewhere, so that way people can email me questions, or if they want to have me talk about a certain subject, and it'll all be anonymous. Again, I will not put your name out there, because sometimes I have a hard time coming up with topics because I'm sporadic, and I can just go from one subject to the next, from one article to the next within minutes. And I've always been like that. We can talk about gaming. We can talk about cars. We can talk about anything. If you find a subject that you want to bring up, I will read it, and if I think that it's not too controversial, I'll talk about it. Or if I think that if somebody wants to bring up a subject about the LGBTQ, I will find one of my friends who is in um, that circle more than I am, and I will bring them up as a guest. I have no issue with that. Um, so to me, things like that, I don't want to be too controversial, but I also know that some things don't get talked about at all, and it get buried on page 8 of the newspaper, and I think that's done on purpose. Like on Sundays during football season, if you go on X, you'll see more tweets. I don't know what they call them now, but you'll see more things about football than any other thing that's going on Sunday, and that's just what happens. Something could happen, and it'll get buried, and you won't hear about it till the next day or at all. That's just the way a lot of people is with football and baseball and sports. I get it. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I love watching football, but I'm not going to stop my life to watch a game. I used to watch wrestling all the time. I used to have to make sure I was home on Monday nights and Thursday nights, and whenever nights it came on, I had to make sure I was home. I had to, and if I didn't, I recorded it on VCR or I recorded it on DVR. But now I don't let TV control me. I don't say, "Oh, I have to be home at 7 o'clock at night to watch this premiere episode." No, it's to me. I can watch it later. I just when Game of Thrones was going on, people would put spoilers on the Book of Faces, and it would really irritate me. Give it at least 2 to 3 days before you put out the spoilers. At least give people a chance to. If you like a certain TV show that comes on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and you should, if somebody hasn't watched that episode within 2 or 3 days and you give a spoiler, that's different. But at least give them a chance to at least see it. But then again, news articles and Entertainment Weekly, they spoil it before anything. So whether you spoil it or not, they're still going to see a spoiler. So I guess that points that's no that's no reason because that's just pointless for me to even say about that because the media spoils things faster than anything. Whether it's X, the Book of Faces, IG, here, you know, people spoil TV shows and stuff faster than anybody, you know. So that's a moot point. So if you come across a spoiler, you can't be mad because you can't stop it. With the multimedia outlets they have, there's going to be a spoiler. But some news articles will say, before reading on about a TV show episode, it'll say, before reading on, this article contains spoilers. So if you keep reading the article, then you spoiled it for yourself. There's no other way to explain that. Yes, I'm nervous, y'all. I'm scared and I'm nervous, so you're gonna see me fidgeting a lot because this is new to me. Not the live part. I go live a lot. It's the articles and talking about things that people are afraid to talk about. Like Christmas is coming, and some people they get depressed around Christmas time. Um, they talk about things about Christmas spirit and oh wait, go over here. Why does it keep opening this freaking browser? I gotta fix that. I don't like using Edge. I'd rather use Google Chrome, but everything opens in Edge.
I'll fix that later.
So I was just sent an article of an exotic animal rescue service. They're trying to capture an animal, but people are scopering their efforts by chasing it in 4x4 vehicles.
It's in Boston.
So in Lincolnshire,
Boston.
that's in Boston,
Yeah.
they've urged motorists to stop chasing an on-the-run emu in off-road vehicles. See, I get it. They want to help. They want to get out there and they want to help. They do. But if you're not adversed in like trained into catching these animals, me being from Louisiana, we see wild animals all the time. Uh, Alligators, boars, or is that what you call them? Boars? They're boars, not hogs, or hogs.
Well,
Wild hogs, wild dogs. We see a lot of not exotic, but we see a lot of wild animals, and people want to help. That is generally what people would want to do. They want to help capture these animals. But if you don't know what you're doing to catch these animals, then don't chase them. Don't chase them.
Turn your volume down.
Don't chase them with your four by fours, because you can be causing more harm than good. So, they're posting on Facebook, and experts have been trying to gain, their trust by feeding her for a while. But again, if you don't know what you're doing, capturing emus and wild animals to the experts, because you can get yourself hurt. Being from Louisiana, I see people all the time try to capture alligators when they see them out, but you're only putting yourself in danger. As much as I say, if I seen a 5 foot alligator, I would jump on its back and like corral it. No, I just say that. I'm not putting my life in danger because I don't know how to handle that. I don't. I've never handled an alligator to try to capture it, so I'm not gonna put my life on the line, just unless it was to save somebody. But if it's just laying on the side of the road walking, no, I'm not gonna try to jump on it. That's just crazy. But if it's going after somebody, or if I see it trying to bite somebody, and that's different. But if it's just wandering and it's not bothering nobody, no, I'd rather just call somebody to come handle it, because it's just not safe. So they're trying to chase an emu to try to catch it with four by fours, and they're just that they can wind up chasing it into the street, and it can get hit. It can cause an accident. Because if you try to chase something you don't know what you're doing, that's what's going to happen. Because I'm sure people like want to try to help, and it's just it's not worth your life unless it's harming somebody or things like that. Then I could say try to do your best. But us as humans, our instinct kicks in when we see an animal or a person in danger, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just who we are. Our adrenaline kicks in. I've seen, and you save people's lives. That's cool. But if there's nobody in danger, it's not worth your life. It's not worth chasing down an animal because it you don't know what you're doing. Because an emu is not going to hurt you. In Boston, these people, they're trying to capture this emu by four by fours, and they could chase the emu. They'll It's okay, Rumples. Um, then they chase this emu back, and they can chase it into the traffic, and they can cause a bigger accident. So why why do it? Why chase these people? Um, if Why chase the things if you don't know what you're doing? Because it makes things worse. It really does. And if you see an animal that's wild, and it's not in its element, and you see an emu or you see a kangaroo, because they do have some, like on over here in Louisiana, they have a safari type zoo that you can go see safari animals. I think they got kangaroos, giraffes, and things like that. Like, for instance, when people go look at where's the bison at? Is it in
Montana.
Montana? But it's around in the state park,
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. When people visit Yellowstone, see, that's why I like my wife as my editor and producer, because she helps me remember things. Y'all may not see her on screen, but you'll hear her voice from time to time. But when people go visit Yellowstone and they start wanting to get close to these bison, these big animals that can literally kill you, you invading their space. They're not doing it. They're not coming after you because of you know you're you're trying to hurt them, but they're territorial. And when people get closer than bison, I've seen people get killed. I've seen people get hurt. You know, when you go to a zoo and you get near the llamas or the alpacas and they spit at you, it's not because they're trying to harm you. You're just getting too close. And wild and animals like that, they are territorial. As hippos and as much as they're docile, sometimes if you get them in their territory at the wrong time, especially if you go around a female animal when she's in heat or she's pregnant, yeah, you're in for something that you don't want. So be careful when you see an animal on the run or see a like because there was a I think there was a kangaroo somewhere in the United States that was on the loose that got out from a zoo or something, and it's like, yeah, them things too. You have to be careful. I just, you know, they chasing this emu. Hey Sam, they're chasing this emu with 4x4s in Boston, and it's like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do when they catch it? You know, what are they gonna do when they catch it? I mean, there's nothing. They're just chasing it for no reason. It's like I. Good morning, Sam. They chasing this emu with 4x4s, and they can chase it in the traffic, and they can cause more problems. I understand they want to help. I do, but you got to be careful. I mean, I am from a state that is very well known to have animals cause to get loose and cause more harm than good. And yeah, it's not worth it. I understand it. I do. I see the point of it and things like that, but it's not worth your life, and it's not worth putting other people in danger because you chasing them the animals that's out. Like I've seen, where dogs get in the interstate and you're running after a dog to try to help it and you get hit. I understand the need to help the animal because I'm an animal lover. And
Time.
oh, it's almost time. Well, I think I've bantered on enough. And like I said, when I get a background, I'll have her incorporate the email at the top. Um, I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'm gonna try.
You're gonna keep going.
But I'm gonna keep going. Um, I'm still going to keep my live going for another 30 minutes, but it's not gonna be my podcast. I'm gonna edit that out because I'm gonna do my hour and a half, so I don't have to do it later. Because I guess TT likes an hour and a half, and plus, Rumpel says he'll be back when he's finished with his mom. So, and I'm gonna do my 30 minutes. But my hour's almost up. Again, I'm gonna keep going, whether people come in or not. Yes, it's gonna feel awkward talking to myself, but again, you got to start somewhere. So, thanks to whoever's listening on the outside, and I will see y'all on Wednesday. And whoever just came in, I appreciate you. Um, so next time, I will hopefully have a better background and my name for my podcast. So, okay. Hello, Luna Eclipse. I just finished.